Hey there y'all, welcome back to the Homemade Collectibles channel. This is a review of the Godzilla Bandai 2014 Pack of Destruction set Muto action figure playset. So this is a really nostalgia retro, I think, yeah, it's retro. This is a almost 10-year-old item. This was a playset, a Pack of Destruction set that you could get at Target's websites online back in 2014 with the release of the Godzilla 2014 Gareth Edwards film. And this was part of the merchandise, the toy that came out from Bandai. And this is one of my favorite toys of all time. The retail price of this was $9.99, and I remember seeing these a long time ago when I was really young at Target's. So what this is basically you get a really cool building piece which does break, a 3-inch scale, put that back, a 3-inch to 4-inch scale monster kaiju figure, and one vehicle. Now there were two sets. There was this one and then one with Godzilla, a building, and a jet, which I actually still have one. This is a really sought after item. It's actually a little bit easier to find it now because I think because Haya Toys made the female Muto figure, and Bandai also, not that long ago, made a set with the male Muto and female Muto, so it's, I think that's one of the reasons why these older figures of these went down, because these were really hard to find, especially this set. But it's a great set. I love world building toys, and this is kind of my favorite thing. You know, if I had this as a kid, I think I would have played with it for like an hour, 2 hours, because I love the world building. You buy more of these, you can build a city, have your monster destroy it. So yeah, it's a great set. Don't have the box, unfortunately, but yeah, this is what it came with. So let's take a look at the first accessory, which is the helicopter. It's a really cool helicopter. It is not crazy detailed, but you know, this was a $10 toy. Pretty good for your value, honestly. And the blades do actually rotate, so that's actually pretty cool. And you can actually take that piece off, so technically you actually get 6 pieces. The building breaks in 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can take that off and, you know, have kind of like create battle damage for the vehicle, which is pretty cool. But you can put that back in really easy, and it is a soft plastic. No paint on it, but you can see there is like a window piece there, the gun turret. It gets the job done. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little vehicle. The piece just fell off. And I like to put this helicopter when I'm putting this on display on top of a building like that. The building itself is really cool. I like, this is one of my favorite building pieces that came out of this toy line. There was the Pack of Destruction Godzilla, which came with a building that's a little bit more narrow, but it's taller than this. You can, you know, Google images of that. And this male Muto set with this came with this building. And then there was also the Destruction City playset, which came with 2 buildings and a Golden Gate Bridge for the final battle in the film. So there was actually a release of this in white, red, and green. I have the blue version. They're basically just, for some reason, Bandai later on gave us blue buildings, red buildings. The original ones were gray. I don't have them, unfortunately. I would love to, but you can see, let me put it back together, that it's really nice. I like that there's multiple different kinds of buildings together. And it is completely hollow in the back. love it if there was actually like a other side to it, so you can, you know, you can display it like this, but you can only display it facing forward because there's absolutely hollowness. But it does break in 3 pieces. That's the first piece right there, the middle piece right here, and then the final piece is this tip right here. So easy, really great. Put it back together, have your monsters fly in, smash it. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's a shame we don't get toys like this anymore from the Godzilla, you know, brand. But McFarlane actually did the Pacific Rim figures, and they came with buildings that you can break apart and vehicles, and it's honestly really similar to this, except they're a little bit more pricey, but they are way more detailed. And actually, I actually want to get one day just to see how it is, because it does give me nostalgia with this. So here's the main thing you're buying the set for, which is the, you know, the monsters. So here is the male Muto, and these are one of my favorite movie monsters of all time. So I was really disappointed to see how expensive they were back in the day, when I was back in like 2019, when I wanted to get get some of these toys, and they were so goddamn expensive, and this one was really hard to find. But it's a great figure. It's not crazy detailed, but you know, this came out before the film came out. So you can see the head is really cool, and it was just so interesting to like not know much about these creatures. Like, who is Godzilla gonna fight? You know, this was way before Monsterverse was even a thing. This was like when the trailers for this movie came out. It was so fascinating to find out what these creatures were going to be like in the plot and the story. And I think the execution, the CGI, the design was top notch. Gareth Edwards was a masterpiece in making that film and make these creatures believable. So it's really cool to have toys of these amazing monsters. So you can see the head is really cool, and you know, it's just such an interesting creature. No posability on the mouth, but it's really cool. And you can see there's actually some details on the chest and the bottom here. I think the female Muto, the body is a little bit more bloated because, you know, it had those eggs with them. And you can also see those smaller arms right there, which they are molded into the legs, so you can't really like move them, you know, unless you want to break it, which I absolutely don't want to do. And you can see the arms there, these are posable. They go forward and back, this far up, this far back. But you can see the bigger arms are pretty cool. Basic detail, but there's paint, red paint, really nice. It's such a basic, you know, it's not accurate, but it's, you know, it came out before the film, so they were probably like going with concept art or something. But the feet are really cool. It's got that horse-like end to it. It was always a fascinating creature, and I remember seeing images of the female Muto toy. I'm like, how the hell are they going to make that CGI work? And, you know, it was completely different from the toy in terms of the color. But because the Godzilla figure Bandai made was excellent, like the detail on that. So you can see the legs right there, bottom. The wings are really basic. I don't know if they're accurate though. It's not in its flying mode, but you can just, you know, push the arms back, pretend it's flying, whoosh, whoosh, and all that. But the wings are really basic, like there's no details on it. It's really basic. You can see the Bandai China logo. What's actually really cool though is you can actually take the wings off without breaking it, and that's a separate piece right there. So technically you get there's 7 pieces of this set. And here's the male Muto without that wing piece, and it's just always fascinating. You know, maybe this is like a pre-juvenile female Muto or something like that. Maybe this is a brand new species of Muto, because these are parasites. But once you take the wings off, you can actually pose these arms way better. And this is actually something I did because I actually had 2 of these, is you can actually take both, I actually had 2 of these, right? 2 of these male Muto figures. Unfortunately, I don't have another one anymore, but you can actually take these arm pieces off and put one on the top. And then if you take another one from another arm piece from another male Muto Bandai figure, you can actually stick it in there, and you can kind of see what I'm going with this, right? Unfortunately, I can't show it because I don't have the other male Muto figure anymore, but if you have 2 more extra, you can put it right here and make a posable 3-inch Bandai female Muto figure. It's just, this isn't how it's supposed to be, the arms just popped off. But if I had another piece of this, of the left arm, it goes in really well. Unfortunately, I never took any pictures of that, or I don't think anyone out there has done that, but you can do that for sure because you're not going to break the arms, but you can see, you can pose the creature's arms pretty well. Just snap that back in, and then you can just simply gently tuck in the wings. It's always like putting a cape on an action figure, but there you go. Really easy, really simple. And then you can just destroy the building. Have fun. I mean, it's great. It's a great toy. It's one of my favorite toys of all time. It's part of my childhood, and it's from one of my favorite films of all time, Godzilla 2014. So, just have vivid, great memories anticipating for this film when it came out a long time ago. But overall, this is a great toy. It still holds up pretty well, and this is the only, I'm sure Haya Toys or Bandai are eventually one day going to make a, male Muto, but this one still holds up, and it's actually in scale with your 6-inch Godzilla figures, because this creature was not actually that, this creature actually should be this size. This is actually inaccurate. The creature should actually be smaller, because this was the smallest creature out of the 3 in the film. Anyways, it's still a cool toy. I give it a 10 out of 10. The price for this was great, 10 bucks. The only thing I would say is I wish the buildings were not hollow, but overall, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.